Good day, sir. I'm Redjan Abila from Criminology 33, and I'm here to discuss about the history of law enforcement in Brunei, information about law enforcement organization of Brunei, official name of law enforcement of Brunei, recruitment, selection, and training of police force in Brunei, ranking system and organization structure of police force in Brunei, and policing practices in police force in Brunei. First, I will discuss the history of law enforcement in Brunei. The Brunei Police was officially formed on January 1, 1921. Immediately after the 1920 police enactment was passed, the local force took over all responsibility from the police force of the street settlement. In 1950, the police headquarters was moved to Kuala Belait, and the CPO was answerable to the CP of Sarawak. Next is the information about law enforcement organization of Brunei. Uh, the the law enforcement of Brunei is made of 6 police department, 4 police district, and 13 police station. It has a strength of more than 4,400 officer and is responsible for prevention, detection, and investigation of crime at national level, well as maintaining law and order. Kung titignan natin, parehas lang din naman sila sa law enforcement. Yung mga sa law enforcement ng different country, yung pinapatupad nila sa prevention, detection, and investigation of the crime. Kung mapapansin natin yung dami ng law enforcement sa Brunei ay kakaunti. Siguro dahil sa maliit lang din silang bansa. Siguro ganun kaya maliit lang din and nahahawakan naman nila ng ayos yung bansa nila. Next is the official name of law enforcement of Brunei. First is the Royal Brunei Police Force. The Royal Brunei Police Force is a force or also known sa Malay is Police Diraha Police Deraha Brunei is charge of prison, fire service. Ano rin sila sa fire service and sa mga insurance sa mga driver license. Kung sa atin sa LTO tayo kumukuha ng driver license, meron different agencies sa kanila mismo sa police agency sila kumukuha ng mga license. And according dito pati syempre, yung mga keeping law and order sa street, hawak din nila yan. Next is recruitment, selection, and training. A competent police officer is seen to possess a good general knowledge, a good specialized knowledge of the law, and executive skills and ability to use the available knowledge to solve a wide range of diverse problem or varying degrees of complexity. Ito yung tinatawag nila na multidisciplinary police training. And sa training nila, meron ditong yung training nila ay umaabot ng 9 months. Kung sa atin 6 months, sa kanila 9 months. There are tas yung nire-recruit lang nilang mga police officers yearly is 30 to 40 lang. Kaya kung titingnan natin mababa yung dami ng police officers sa kanila. Next is the ranking system and organizational structure of RBPF. Yung pinakamataas sa kanila is the Inspector General of Police. Next is the Commissioner of Police. Next is Deputy Commissioner of Police. And meron din Director of Administration and Finance. And hawak naman ito yung Deputy Director of Administration and Finance, Head of Training, and Head Finance. Next is the Director of Operation. Director of Logistics, Deputy Director of Operation, RPG, RU, Deputy Director of Logistics. Meron ditong Quartermaster and Communication. Meron din silang Director of Criminal Investigation and Intelligence. And ang nila dito nasa baba nito ay yung Deputy Director 1 and 2. And yung sa Deputy Director 1, ang hawak nito yung mga serious crime. And sa Deputy Director 2, ang hawak naman nito yung mga sa research. Next is Director of Traffic Investigation and Control. Hawak niya yung Deputy Director of Traffic, yung administration, and last is Head of CP Secretariat. Next is the tinatawag nila na OCPD. Ito yung Brunei, Belait, Muara, Tutong, Beracas, Yerodong, and Timburong. Kung titignan natin, napaka-ano ng mga word, di ba? Next is the policing practices in police force in Brunei. They keeping law and order and providing law enforcement service. Siyempre, tulad din sa ibang mga police sa ibang bansa, ganun din. Inaano nila yung law enforcement service. The mandate for the RBPF or Royal Bureau of Police Force in keeping the law and Sultanate of Brunei, Darussalam, includes the prevention and detection and investigation especially. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Bangayan Jason, Criminology 33. History of law enforcement or policing in Cambodia. Cambodian police history. From 1863 to 1883, Cambodia is under the French Protectorate. 1884 to 1945, before the establishment of Cambodia National Police in 1945. Khmer people with plans did the policing to strengthen security and social order. In 1884, Phnom Penh police force was fully equipped with arms. In 1885, organization of police in Phnom Penh for to improve the inspection of ships coming through the fort. In 1896, promulgation of the law on sanitary police, the law which was used in France since 1822. In 1897, issuance of regulation on maritime sanitary police. In 1905, Cambodian Maritime Police was established. In 1912, River Police Brigade was established. In 1925, establishment of Commune Patrol or Rural Police. In 1931, number 1, establishment of Provincial Patrols or Provincial Police. Number 2, Phnom Penh Battambang Railway Police was established to suppress crime and protect individual property as well as maintain the order along the railway. In 1945, the birth of the Cambodian National Police on May 16, 1945, a decree made Cambodian King Norodom Siak Moni setting May 16, 1945 as the birth of the Cambodian National Police. He made the decree on August 8, 2006. 1953, France transferred police institution to the Royal Government of Cambodia on August 29, 1953, before gaining full independence on November 9, 1953. Now, let's proceed to information about law enforcement organization of the country. In Cambodia, Cambodia's Ministry of Interior, it is in charge of the Cambodian National Police and other law enforcement administration, including police training units, the judicial police, drug units, border police, and prisons. Cambodia Minister of Interior Organization, including 3. Number 1, Minister of Interior. 2, 6 Secretaries of State. 3, 4 under Secretaries of State. Cambodia is a member of Interpol since April 1, 1956. Cambodia joined ASEAN in the year 2000. Cambodia National Police Vision, Safer Cambodia Together. Cambodia National Police Mission, working together to serve and protect the people. Let's proceed to the official name of Cambodia. The Kingdom of Cambodia is the official English name of the country. The English Cambodia is an anglicization of the French Cambodge, which in turn is the French transliteration of the Khmer. Now, let's proceed to recruitment, selection, and training in Cambodia. First one, recruitment. SPD has increased its recruiting presence of local cultural and affinity group events. It has also developed a group of officers who serve as recruiting liaisons in their precincts and communities, allowing for wider reach and more direct connections. Second one is hiring. The department has improved the consistency of its messaging and branding while adding more advanced content to its website. SPD has also streamlined the background investigation process to decrease application of waste times. Third one, training. SPD has implemented field training, tracking, software that assists with operational and quality control issues. It has also overhauled the field training curriculum, which now includes 2 skill areas of critical importance: public interactions and problem solving or decision making. Now, let's proceed to structure and organization of Cambodia. Ang pinakamataas ay minister. Sa kaliwa ng minister, merong Department of Audit. Sa kanan ng minister, merong General Secretaries of National Council for Sustainable Development. Under ng minister, they have Secretary of State. And under ng Secretary of State, merong 5
structures. First one, General Department of Administration, Finance, and Personnel. 2. General Department of Inspection. The third one, General Department of Environmental Protection or EPA. Sec and General Department of Environmental Knowledge and Information. And last one, Administration Department of General for Natural Conservation and Protection. Under the ng General Department of Environmental Protection, they have 8 structures. First one, Department of Administration, Planning, and Finance. Second one, Department of Water Quality Management. Third one, Department of Solid Waste Management. Department of Hazardous Substances Management. Department of Environmental Impact Assessment Review. Department of Air and Noise Quality Management. Department of Inspection. And last one, Department of Laboratory. And under ng Department of Water Quality Management or DWQM, they have 5 structures. First one, Office of Administration. Second one, Office of Water Quality Monitoring. Third one, Office of Industrial Wastewater Management. Office of Urban Sewage Management. And last one, Office of Marine Pollution Management. Now, let's proceed to the last topic, which is best known practices. This is an annual report produced in conjunction with the Regional Security Office at the U.S. Embassy in Phnom Penh. OSAC or OSAC encourage travelers to use this report to gain baseline knowledge of security conditions in Cambodia. For more in-depth information, reviews OSAC's Cambodia page for original OSAC reporting, consular message, and contact information, some of which may be available only to private sector representatives with an OSAC password. The U.S. Department of State has assessed Phnom Penh as being a critical threat location for crime directed at our affecting official U.S. government interests. Criminal activity in Cambodia, especially Phnom Penh, remained high in 2019, with approximately the same level of violence and frequency of incidents as the year prior. The majority of crimes committed are opportunistic property crimes committed for financial gain, such cell phone or motorbike thefts. Although criminal specifically target Westerners for crimes motivated by financial gains, perpetrator rarely seek to intentionally use violence or cause physical harm. All forms of criminal activity are more common at night than during the day. Pickpocketing and purse snatching are commonplace, with pedestrian and tuk-tuk or two-wheeled car fooled by a motor scooter commonly used for local transportation. Passengers being the prime victims. Pickpockets also target transportation centers, market areas, special events, the riverfront area, and crowded buses traveling to the provinces. Embassy employees have been the victim of purse and cell phone snatchings. When snatchings occur, bystanders often attempts to apprehend the snatchers, usually pursuing and, if successful, detaining the suspect until police arrive. However, Criminal violence in connection to these steps often allows often follows active victim resistance. The embassy advises its staff to avoid resisting and to give up their valuables when confronted with reviews of OSAC's report. All that you should leave behind.
Good day, sir. This is Sean Del Rosario from Criminal Justice 33, and I'm here to tackle about Indonesian police. Let's start with history. When large parts of Indonesia was under Dutch colonial occupation until 1940s, police duties were performed by either military establishments or colonial police known as the Veldpolitie or the Fields Police. In Japanese occupation during World War II, brought changes when the Japanese formed various armed organizations to support their war. This had led to the distribution of weapons to military trained youths, which were largely confiscated from the Dutch armory. After the Japanese occupation, the National Police became an armed organization. The Indonesian Police was established in 1946, and its units fought in the Indonesian National Revolution against the invading Dutch forces. Also participated in suppressing the 1948 Communist Revolt in Madiun in 1966. The police was brought under the control of Armed Forces Chief. Following the proclamation of independence, the police played a vital role when they actively supported the people's movement to dismantle the Japanese army and to strengthen the defense of the newly created Republic of Indonesia. The police were not combatants, who were required to surrender their weapons to Allied forces. During the Revolution of Independence, the police gradually formed into what is known as Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia, or also known as Polri, or the Indonesian National Police. In 2000, the police force officially regained its independence and now is separate from the military. Now let's talk about information about Indonesian police. The Indonesian National Police, or Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia, literally state Police of the Republic of Indonesia, abbreviated as Polri, is the national police force of Indonesia, founded on July 1, 1946. It was formerly a part of the country's military since 1962. The police were formally separated from the military on April 1, 1999, in a process which was formally completed on July 1, 2000. Their motto is Rastra Sewa Ko Tama, or Serving the Nation. And the official name of Indonesian National Police is Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia. Recruitment. Indonesia Police Watch, or IPW, has urged the National Police to review the recruitment process following the harrowing revelation that an officer allegedly killed and mutilated his two young children. IPW Chairman Neta S. Pane said on Saturday that the news was proof that the psychological examination of police applicants was inadequate or screening those who were mentally unfit to join the law enforcement agency. The mutilation case in West Kalimantan shows that there is a serious problem in the police force relating to the mental health of their personnel. Unfortunately, the leadership of the National Police have not been taking this seriously, he said. Ranks of Indonesian National Police. At their early years, Polri used European police style, ranks like inspector and commissioner. When the police was included into the military structure in 1960s, the ranks changed into military style such as captain, major, and colonel. When Polri conducted the transition to be fully independent out of armed forces structure at 2001, they used British style police ranks like inspector and superintendent. Now Polri returned to Dutch style ranks just like early years. And this is the best known policing in Indonesia. Community policing has been evolving slowly since the civil rights movement in the 1960s exposed the weaknesses of the traditional policing Model 25. It has been developed over the past 3 decades and continues into the 21st. Community policing is used widely as a term of police philosophies, strategies, and tactics. It is also known as neighborhood-oriented policing or community-oriented policing. Community policing promises to change radically the relationship between the police and the public to handle the community problems, and to improve the living conditions in neighborhoods. Its origin to be traced to the crisis in police-community relations, which has been influenced by a wide variety of factors over the past 40 years. Rosenbaum described community policing as plastic concept, meaning different things to different people. Many perspectives on community policing are made only by assumptions, and partially supported by empirical evidence. I tried to summarize interpretation of police history and strategies of policing as the following table 1 below, which includes how the police were authorized by government, the police function, organizational design, external relationship, principal programs and technologies, and the measured outcomes demanded. And this is the sample of structure and organization of Indonesia.
History of law enforcement in Laos. The Royal Lao Police was the official national police force of the Kingdom of Laos from 1949 to 1975, operating with the Royal Lao Armed Forces during the Laotian Civil War between 1960 and 1975. By the end of 1976, an effective police force has been established. Its mission was simple: to maintain basic law and order and strictly enforce the government policies, often with little regard for human rights. A police academy was established at the former United States built police school at Ban Dang now 10 kilometers east of Vientiane, where Vietnamese and Soviet instructors began teaching Laotian cadres basic police procedure. The crime rate reportedly was very low. Information about law enforcement organization of Laos. Police tend to be poorly trained, poorly equipped, and unresponsive to criminal activity. Although officers are polite, few speak English and most will not react without a formal authorization from their supervisor's officer. Police have set up random checkpoints and post occasional curfews and maintain static posts which have helped deter some crime. Next, official name. Until 1975, the Royal Lao Army were the armed forces of the Kingdom of Laos, serving one of the world's least developed countries. The Lao People Armed Forces (LPAF) is small, poorly founded, and ineffectively resourced. Its mission focus is border and internal security, primarily in internal suppression of Laotian descendant and opposition groups. Structure and organization. The Royal Lao Police was first established in 1949 by the French Union authorities. The Laotian security forces were divided into several branches of service, which comprise a plainclothes criminal investigation department, an immigration service, an urban constabulary, a regional gendarmerie, and a counterinsurgents armed support unit. All this information were answerable to the Laotian Ministry of the Interior of the Royal Lao Government in Vientiane, the regular Laotian police branch. This was the first uniform urban constabulary, designed civil police force or national police corps, tasked providing security and maintaining law and order in the main population centers, including the nation capital city of the provincial capitals, successors of the French colonial indigenous guard. The paramilitary Laotian gendarmerie was tasked of patrolling the countryside. Recruitment, selection, and training. Laos maintained a small, minimally founded military force consisting almost entirely of the Lao People's Army, with a smaller air unit military service of compulsory for men from age 15 with conscription lasting a minimum of 18 months. Internal security measures have been strictly enforced as the regime fears political opposition linked to large exile population and sporadic armed resistance within the country. Paramilitary self-defense forces vastly outnumber the army. Recruitment, selection, and training. Laos maintained a small, minimally founded military force consisting almost entirely of the Lao People's Army. With a smaller air unit, military service is compulsory for men from age 15 with conscription lasting a minimum of 18 months. Internal security measures have been strictly enforced, as the regime fears political opposition linked to large exile population and sporadic armed resistance within the country. Paramilitary self-defense forces vastly outnumber the army. Ranking system. The following present the ranks of the Lao People's Armed Forces, which as a former French dominion corporal. Best known police practices. Police and military forces have powers of arrest, although normally only police carry them out. Police agents exercise wide latitude in making arrests, relying on exception to the requirement that warrants are necessary except the apprehended person in the act of committing crimes, or in urgent cases. Police reportedly sometimes use arrest as means to intimidate person or extract bribes. Unlike a previous year,
Good day, sir. I am Denmark Cancino and I'm going to tackle my topic. The title is Malaysia. The first one is History of Law Enforcement and Policing in Malaysia. The modern police organization in Malaysia started in 25 March 1807 after the Charter of Justice in Penang was granted. Most of the officers were of British origin. Later, this organization was developed in the Straits, settlements, and other Malay states, particularly the Federal Malay States. The second one is information about law enforcement organization in Malaysia. The Royal Malaysian Police comprises 137,574,000 senior police officers, subordinate police officers, and civil servants. This membership reflects the variety of assignments carried out by the PDRM, from the General Task Force to the traditional task of policing and always side by side with the people. Until the general operations, team undertakes non-regulatory tasks such as preventing the entry of illegal immigrants and the war against terrorist uprising communist ones. The third one is official name of Malaysia. Peninsular Malaysia was unified as the Malayan Union in 1946. Malaya was restructured as the Federation of Malaya in 1948 and achieved independence on 31 August 1957. Malaya united with North Borneo, Sarawak, and Singapore on 16 September 1963 to become Malaysia. The fourth one is structure and organization. RMP organizational structure apart from the two departments concerned within the administration, management department, and provision department. The RMP have 6 departments concerned in crime prevention. The first one is Criminal Investigation Division, Narcotics Criminal Investigation Division, Internal Security and Public Order Department, Government Department, Industrial Crime Investigation Department, and the last one is Traffic Enforcement and Investigation Department. The fifth one is Recruitment, Selection, and Training. The Royal Malayan Police could be a part of the protection forces structure in Malaysia. The force could be a centralized organization with responsibilities starting from control to intelligence gathering. The sixth one is ranking system. Police hierarchy in Malaysia. There are Gazette officers and subordinate officers. Gazette officers contains commissioners and superintendents, and the subordinate officers contains sub-inspector of police, sergeant major of police, sergeant of police, corporal of police, lance corporal of police, and the last one is constable of police. The last one is best known policing practices. Malaysia has adopted a method of policing which is similar to the British neighborhood policing teams (NPTs) called as Community-Oriented Policing (COP) in Malaysia. Community-oriented policing has been introduced to create a safer living environment. This concept is based on a partnership between police department and the communities, in which both parties will share the responsibility to identify, reduce, eliminate, and prevent problems concerning community safety and order. Therefore, the spirit of community empowerment, smartship, and interdependency between all stakeholders, including community, police, NGOs, and other interested parties are very much needed in this country through active and passive ways.
Good day, everyone. I'm Vince Guevara from Criminology 13, discussing the Myanmar police model. The history. During the reign of Myanmar monarchs, local police were formed under the mayors and village headmen, and there were also military reserve personnel. The British policing system was introduced in 1985, when the Union of Myanmar became a British colony. At the time, the police force was known as the Burma Police. The Burma Police was recognized as the People Police Force in 1964, and was recognized again to the present setup as the Myanmar Police Force on October 1st, 1995. The Union of Myanmar was undergone many changes after 1988. Likewise, the Myanmar Police Force has to change the administration system to be in the line with the new administration system of the country. The Committee for Recognition of Police Administration System, which is presided by Secretary of the State Peace and Development Council, was formed in January 28, 1994. Now the committee is synchronizing the whole system and making necessary changes. On 16 March 1988, following the killing of 2 students during the pro-democracy demonstration, students marching on Prom Road were confronted near Inya Lake by the Han Chen security force, riot police, and many beaten to death or drunk. Myanmar police force uses wide range of weapons and ammunitions, ranging from Second World War vintage to modern, sophisticated weapons. Most of the weapons are either seized from the ethnic wars and narco-insurgents, or locally purchased copies of the G3 and other weapons based out in their army. SWAT battalions are armed with relatively modern small arms and members of MPF, who are stationed in local police stations with states and divisional police forces, and those providing general guard duties at various government establishments and public places such as airports, train and bus stations, along with officers and detectives are issued with Second World War vintage weapons. Information about law enforcement organization. The current Director General of Myanmar Police Force is Police Lieutenant General Ong Win Ong, with its headquarters at Naipida. Its command structure is based on the establishment civil jurisdictions under the command of police headquarters. State and region police force has been established in respective territories of states and divisions, with headquarters in their capital cities. In previous time, the district police forces are classified into 2 classes depending on the area, population, and development, namely A and B class. Commanders of the A class district police force are lieutenant colonels and B class are police majors. But there is no classification and all district assigned with lieutenant colonel. Commanders to own ship. Police force are police majors and police station officers are police captains. Official name. The Myanmar Police Force, formerly known as the People's Police Force, was established in 1964 as an independent department under the Ministry of Home Affairs. It was recognized on October 1st, 1995 and informally became part of the Tatmadaw Armed Forces of Myanmar. The police force in Myanmar have an extensive history. The police force also include local police and regional police in different jurisdictions. The structure and organizational chart. The chart of the position and organization. Myanmar Police Force. Under is Chief of Police and Head of NCB. Under on Chief of Police and NCB, Deputy Chief of Police. Underneath is Police Chief of General Staff, Police Adjutant General, Police Quartermaster General, Commander of Police Battalions Control Command, Headquarters Reserve Forces. Police Chief of General Staff. Underneath is Director of Security and Crime, Director of Planning and Training, Director of Anti-Narcotic Drug, Head of Department Against Transnational Crime or DTC. Next, Head of Department Against Transnational Crime, DTC. Underneath is Policy and Planning, International Relation and NCB Myanmar, Operational and Administration. The Director General of Myanmar Police Force, holding the rank of Police Major General, is in command of the whole police force. According to the present setup, the Myanmar Police Force has 6 components. They are headquarters, state and division police forces, special departments, training centers, reserve units, and police battalions. Recruitment and training of police. In Myanmar, there is 1 training institute of Myanmar Police Force, CTI-MPF, and 2 police training centers. CTI-MPF is headed by Police Brigadier General, and its duties function are as follows. A. Implementation of training policies stipulated by the Myanmar Police Force. Next, implementation of Myanmar Police Force goals and accountability. Next, synchronize and redraw curriculum and technology progress regarding the timely situation. Next, lay down on managerial arrangement for instructor for the enhancement of capabilities. Next, perform to gain successful training objectives of their kinds. Next, manage and practices officers' moral discipline and morale for the betterment in order to serve others' advantage. The police of CTI-MPF are laid down as follows. Well, practice on belief and conviction. Practice for the firm stance of government side. Practice leads to assume responsibility of others' interests with good morals, discipline, and morale. Next, practice the dutiful performance for goals of Myanmar Police Force.
Next, practice to observe and understand the law. Produce and directives incompatible with position. Next, lecture leads to modern technology education and knowledge with continuation of minded soul. Next is practice leads to enhancement of four kinds of competence. The Central Training Institute of Myanmar Police Force provided under-mentioned police training courses. The Central Training Institute of Myanmar Police Force is suited in Pinolin, is commanded by a police brigadier general, and is conducting the following courses. First is the Deputy Superintendent Cadet Course, 12 months in CTI-MPF, 6 months in Defense Service, and 12 months of on-the-job training. Second, Police Cadet Officer Course, 52 weeks. Third is Surveillance Officer Course, 6 weeks. Fourth is Investigation Officer Course, 6 weeks. Fifth is Police Station Officer Course, 8 weeks. Sixth is Township Police Commander Course, 8 weeks. Seven is District Police Commander Course, 12 weeks. 8 is Crime Record Officer Course, 6 weeks. 9th is Officer Instruction Course, 4 weeks. 10th is Course on Enhancement of Competency, 6 weeks. For Senior Officer of the Ministry of Home Affairs, the number 1 Police Training Center is commanded by a Police Lieutenant Colonel and Understate. First is training course for Junior NCO, 4 weeks. Training course for Senior NCO is also 4 weeks, and Police Sergeant courses. Third is the Instructor Replication course, 4 weeks. Number 4 is Constable Basic Training course, 24 weeks. Fifth is Station Writer course, 4 weeks. The number 2 Police Training Center is also commanded by Police Lieutenant Colonel and undertakes only basic training course for constables, 24 weeks. The State and Divisional Police Force have their own training centers for refresher courses and NCO course. The ranking system. For the Senior Commission Officer is Police Major General, Police Brigadier General, Police Colonel. For the Commission Officers, Police Lieutenant Colonel, Police Major, Police Captain, Police Lieutenant, Police Sub-Lieutenant. For Non-Commissioned Officer, Police Staff Sergeant, Police Corporal, Police Lance Corporal. Those are the ranking system of Myanmar Police Force. The best known policing practices. Myanmar must have patriotism, must be efficient in performing our responsibilities. Our police forces must be a modern police force, along with the constant changing world. We have changed the structure and appearance of our police forces, as well as the morality of our police personnel, to be in the line with the new democratic nation, and to the best serve and protect our people. For instance, such as new units as Marine Police, Aviation Police, Financial Investigation Unit, Anti-Trafficking in Person Unit, Drug Prevention Unit, Tourism Police, Highway Police, Traffic Police, Forest Security Police, and Petroleum Land Security Police have been established. These new police units are already carrying out their duties in their specific fields to fully serve the interests of the people. Moreover, Myanmar Police Force has been granted the state budget by the government subsequently. Uniforms and equipment of our police personnel have been upgraded to keep abreast with other international police force. And for a better image of Myanmar Police Force, furthermore, the President guidance is how we can achieve the objectives of Myanmar Police Force. In fact, people-centered policing is the best suitable policing system for a democratic state.
History of law enforcement in Philippines. The Philippine National Police or PNP originated from the Philippine Constabulary or the PC, which was inaugurated on August 8, 1901. Establishing it is an insular police force under the American regime. On August 8, 1975, Presidential Decree No. 7065 was issued establishing the Philippine Constabulary Integrated National Police or the PC or INP as the country national police force. These fragmented and diverse local police units were integrated into a national police force with the Philippine Constabulary as its nucleus. After the People's Revolution in 1986, a new constitution was promulgated providing for a police force. which is national in scope and civilian in character. Consequently, Republic Act No. 6975 entitled an Act establishing the Philippine National Police under a reorganized Department of the Interior and Local Government (DILG) was signed into law on December 30, 1990, which took effect on January 1, 1991. Subsequently, the PNP was operational on January 29, 1991, whose members were formerly the PC and the INP, and the absorption of the selected members from the major service units of the Armed Forces of the Philippines such as the Philippine Air Force Security Command, the Philippine Coast Guard, Philippine Navy, and the Philippine Army. Thus, to further strengthen the PNP into a highly efficient and competent police force, Republic Act No. 8551 entitled PNP Reform and the Reorganization Act of 1998 was enacted on February 17, 1998, amending certain provisions of Republic Act 9, No. 6975. Information about law enforcement organization in Philippines. Republic Act No. 6975, an act establishing the Philippine National Police under a reorganized Department of the Interior and Local Government and for other purposes. Official name: Philippine National Police. The Philippine National Police or PNP or in Filipino, Pambansang Pulisya ng Pilipinas, is the national police force of the Republic of the Philippines. It is both a national and local police force that provides all law enforcement services throughout the Philippines. The Philippine National Police, which was a result of a merger of the Philippine Constabulary and the Integrated National Police, was activated on January 29, 1991. Its national headquarters are based at Camp Crame, Quezon City in the National Capital Region. Structures and organization. On the first slide, you can see the structure and the organization of the National Police Commission. A. Commission proper. The NAPOLCOM as a collegial body is composed of an ex officio chairperson, four regular commissioners, and the chief PNP as ex officio member, one of whom is appointed by the President as the vice chairperson. The DILG secretary is the ex officio chairperson, while the vice chairperson serves as the executive officer of the commission. The ex officio chairperson and four commissioners constitute the commissions proper, which serves as the governing body thereof. B. Staff services. The staff services of the Commission are as follows. Planning and Research Service provides technical services to the Commission in areas of overall policy formulation, strategic and operational planning, management system or procedures, evaluation and monitoring of the Commission programs, project and internal operation, and conducts thorough research and analysis on social and economic conditions affecting peace and order in the country. Legal Affairs Service provides the Commission with efficient and effective service as legal counsel of the Commission, draft or studies contracts affecting the Commission and submit appropriate recommendations pertaining thereto, and render legal opinions arising from the administration and operation of the Philippine National Police and the Commission. Crime Prevention and Coordination Service undertakes criminological research and studies, formulates a national crime prevention plan, develop a crime prevention and information program, and provide editorial direction for all criminology research and crime prevention publication. Personnel and Administrative Service performs personnel function for the commissions, administers the entrance and promotional examination for policemen, provides the necessary services relating to records, correspondence supplies, property and equipment, security and general services, and the maintenance and utilization of facilities, provides services relating to manpower, career planning and development, personnel transaction, and employee welfare. Inspection, Monitoring, and Investigation Service conducts continuous inspection and management, audit of personnel, facilities, and operation at all levels of command of the PNP, monitors the implementation of the Commission programs and projects related to law enforcement, and monitors and investigate police anomalies and irregularities. Installation and Logistics Service reviews the Commission plans and programs and formulates policies and procedures regarding acquisition, inventory control, distribution, maintenance, and disposal of supplies and oversees the implementation of programs on transportation facilities and installation and the procurement and maintenance of supplies and equipment. Financial Services provides the Commission with staff advice and assistance on budgetary and financial matters, including the overseeing of the processing and disbursement of funds pertaining to the scholarship program and surviving children of deceased and or permanently incapacitated PNP personnel. Disciplinary Appellate Board. The Commission has a formal administrative disciplinary appellate machinery consisting of the National Appellate Board, or NAB, and the Regional Appellate Boards, RABs. The following are the specific function of the appellate boards. National Appellate Board decides cases on appeal from decision rendered by the Director General of the Philippine National Police, where the penalty imposed in demotion in rank of dismissal from service. Regional appellate boards decide or resolve all cases on appeal from decision of the PLEBs and PNP regional directors where the penalty is forced resignation, demotion in a rank, or dismissal, and those of the mayors in cases falling within their respective jurisdiction. Decide appeals from decision of the regional directors on claims for police benefits. D. Regional offices. Taking heed of the government's calls towards the decentralization and devolution of powers and authority from the national to the local level with the end in view of improving service delivery to the people. NAPOLCOM established 17 regional office RO strategically located in the different regional divisions of the country. These offices implemented the policies and programs of NAPOLCOM in their respective regions and likewise performed the function of investigation and adjudication of death and permanent and temporary disability benefit claims and scholarship grants subject to standards set by the Commission. The ROs, through the Office of the Legal Counsel, act as a legal consultants of the PLEBs and provide, whether necessary, legal services, assistance, and advice to the PLEBs in hearing and deciding cases against officers and members of the PNP, especially those involving difficult questions of the law. Recruitment, selection, and training. National Police Commission or NAPOLCOM is the one that handles for the recruitment, selection, and training of the newly appointed personnel. Memorandum Circular Number 2007-009 prescribing the procedures and guidelines for the new recruitment, selection, and appointment of PNP uniformed personnel and termination of service of newly appointed Police Officer 1 or PO1 while still on the temporary status. Memorandum Circular Number 2007-009, whereas Section 14 of Republic Act Number 8551 amended Section 30 of Republic Act Number 6975, which prescribed the minimum qualification for appointment of uniformed personnel in the Philippine National Police or PNP. Whereas the Commission has issued Memorandum Circular Number 92015, 2003-009, and 2005-002 to ensure the entry of highly qualified individuals into the police service and to strengthen the human resource capability of the PNP. Whereas there is a need to come up with a new circular on recruitment, selection, and appointment of Police Officer 1, whether through regular or attrition recruitment, providing for uniform standards and procedures for all PNP recruiting units to follow in order to ensure the appointment of the best and most qualified police applicants. Now therefore, the Commission, pursuant to its constitutional mandate to administer and control the PNP, has resolved to prescribe as is hereby prescribes. the following procedures and guidelines in the recruitment, selection, and appointment of PNP uniformed personnel and termination of service of newly appointed Police Officer 1 while still in temporary status. Ranking system of the Philippine National Police. According to Republic Act No. 6975, Section 28, rank classification for purposes of efficient administration, supervision, and control, the rank classification of the members of the PNP shall be as follows. The highest rank to lowest rank. The highest rank is the Director General, then Deputy Director General, Director, Chief Superintendent, Senior Superintendent, Superintendent, Chief, Chief Inspector, Super Senior Inspector, Inspector, Senior Police Officer 4, Senior Police Officer 3, Senior Police Officer 2, Senior Police Officer 1, Police Officer 3, Police Officer 2, and last, the lowest rank is the Police Officer 1. The best known policing practices. The Philippine National Police Ethical Doctrine. Disciplined PNP members shall conduct themselves properly at all times in keeping with the rules and regulation of the organization. These are some practices. EPD Cares Kabaroko Kalingako is the brainchild of District Director PC Superintendent Reynaldo Guban BI. Stands for Ka for care, and for reformation, and S for services in terms of health, legal, psychological, financial, and spiritual counseling services. This project extends assistance to personnel who are struggling with issues and stress in their job through holistic approach in making our personnel of sound body and sound mind. Drum Boat, an EPD initiative that came about after Typhoon Ondoy and Habagat experiences. It is a search and rescue boat made of recycled drums designed to withstand obstacle and raging flood waters such as protruding galvanized roofing and steel fence. Then, quick dial quick response. Motorcycles will be used by a trained police officer to render patrol at the different crime-prone areas to combat motorcycle riding criminals. PNP LGU or private-public partnership, an innovative creative technique that enables a business establishment to raise an alarm and get a fast response from the police in the event that criminal elements have broken in. Business establishments have become vulnerable to criminal acts because of the easy cash these criminals can have. With a lookout and a getaway vehicle, robbers always pull a fast one, and businessmen and owners of establishments become easy prey. With this laudable and commendable alarm, business establishment can now be more confident in conducting their business. One notable initiative of this station is the Quick Dial Quick Response project. The concept of this initiative is for the police to react and respond as quickly as possible if robber or hold-up incidents arise in establishment registered in this project. Institutionalized DAID or SOTG and ADCO or BADAC partnership. Resources of private companies in the area paved the way to the construction of the following: PCP4 office along Shaw Boulevard beside Shangri-La Plaza Mall. PCP5 office at the Mayflower Street Greenfield District. TMR office along Shaw Boulevard in front of Star Mall Complex. The maintenance and utility expenses of the said offices are shouldered by the private firm to include the provision of incentive to Philippine National Police personnel assigned therein. The construction of this infrastructure brings significant decrease in crime incident in the area and enhance positive public perception that police is just within their reach. Operation Tarjeta, a fully operational anti-illegal drug unit in the district and station level which shall implement the supply and demand reduction campaign of the Philippine National Police against the proliferation of illegal drugs. Chief of Police shall lead their respective city anti-drug abuse council in the clearing of drug-affected barangays by focusing on the neutralization of street-level drug personalities, but may also act on high-value targets in coordination with PDEA. Operational Bandillo. This practice has been effective in informing the public of the contact numbers of San Juan CPS personnel in the event of a crime or an emergency requiring assistance. Operation Kamusta o Kumusta. An old system of communication is still found to be very effective despite the advancement of information technology. Each police community precinct or PCP shall conduct information dissemination in crowded places through the use of megaphone or public address system by exposing the current modus operandi of criminals and or making the general public aware of the general security situation and other public safety concerns. Swarm Kuyog Technique, a police strategy whereby a great number of police forces on patrol within the city police station, AOR, mobile patrol, bike patrol, foot patrol, etc., shall respond to a particular place of incident upon call report by the operation center or by any patrol unit that was called upon to respond to an incident in order to effect the arrest of crime suspect. Operational Bike Patrol. A team of bike patrollers or bicycle riders shall be organized in every police station including TP, SB, and DHQ. The team will be conduct bike patrol in order to increase police visibility in areas frequently visited by people like malls, tourist areas, and etc. Biking is also an activity that promotes the physical well-being of our PNP personnel. Operation Bantay Lahat, Lahat Bantay. Ordinance limiting the speed of 20 kilometers per hour of motorcycle within Mandaluyong City and allowing only back rider related to the rider within first degree of consanguinity. The ordinance aims to reduce the crimes committed by those riding motorcycles in tandem. No IP card, no entry, no transaction policy. The prime objective of the campaign plan is crime prevention. The EPD aims to open innate awareness to every individual to combat criminality through providing useful information and mobilize them as this is shared responsibility of the police and the community. Its implementation is being developed into a culture that will serve as a legacy to the next generation that crime is not welcome in our society and will be a great factor for attaining the PNP vision and mission. And lastly, EPD Lady Bike Patrollers. The project aims to establish and institutionalize the designation of EPD Lady Bike Patrollers in city, police station, and DPSB who will be deployed to areas with narrow roads like side street and alleys in order for them to easily pass co- through to conduct patrol and to respond to any eventualities surreptitiously. Likewise, they can also be considered tourist-oriented police for community order and protection in tourist spots within their respective localities. Furthermore, said program will be emphasis on gender equality and sensitivity which is one of EPD primary concerns. Good day, sir. And my name is Donita Aurelio and I report the police model of the Philippines.
Good day everyone. My name is Christian Emer Santos of the First Group, assigned to report about the country, Singapore. The Singapore Police Force is as old as a modern Singapore. The force was formed in 1820 with a skeleton force of 11 men under the command of Francis James Bernard, son-in-law of William Farquhar. With no background nor knowledge on policing, Bernard had to work from scratch, as well as occasionally turning to Farquhar for help. In addition, he held multiple roles as magistrate, chief jailer, harbor master, marine stonekeeper, as well as personal assistant to Farquhar. Farquhar informed Raffles that he had provisionally introduced license for opium and alcohol sales that would raise $650 per month, with $300 of this sum being used to run a small police department. As the department took form, Bernard became in charge of a Malay writer, one jailer, one Hemadar sergeant, and 8 peada or constable. By May 1820, Raffles approved this arrangement by August 1820 and cemented the formal establishment of a police force in Singapore. Manpower constraints meant that the man had to perform a wide range of roles and required the help of headmen among the various ethnic communities to maintain orderliness on the street. All the more possible as the communities live in segregated areas around the city. This partnership with the community was in line with Sir Stanford Raffles' vision of thriving colony largely self-regulated by local social structure, with the British masters administrating it via indirect rule. The large influx of migrants from China, however, began to test this system, when the hands-off approach by British allowed secret societies in Singapore to thrive. Although originally formed with legal intention of community bonding and the provision of assistance to fellow migrants, these societies gradually became influential, competitive, and increasingly engaged in illegal activity, including monetary extortion from the masses, the operation of gambling dens, and smuggling of illegal goods on the top of more legal commercial operation to meet their financial needs. Competition gradually heated up between large rival factions, such as that between the larger Gi Hin Kongsi, the Gi Hok Kongsi, and the Hai San Kongsi. Murders, mass riots, kidnappings, arson, and other serious crimes became commonplace in the next 4 decades since the colony's founding. Faced with violent acts of crime which may involve thousands, such as the Chinese funeral procession riots of 1846 involving 9,000 members from the Gi Hin and the Gi Hok secret societies. The police force, who woefully incapable of bringing the situation under control and often had to call in the army for assistance. The escalating number of serious crimes prompted the need for stronger legislation to deter would-be criminals. Singapore's first execution were thus held in wake up of first criminal session in June 1828, when a Chinese and Indian were found guilty and convicted for murder. By Europeans and predominantly staffed by Malay and Indian officers, the force had little Chinese representation. As to the military and policing professionals were traditionally shown by the Chinese community, which therefore impaired policing efforts among the large Chinese populace. In 1843, the force comprised a sitting magistrate doubling up as a superintendent, 3 European constable, and an assistant native constable, 14 officers, and 110 policemen. With a total strength of no more than 150 men, the police were compelled to avoid direct intervention in these mass acts of violence, else risking almost total annihilation. A repeat of this scenario occurred in 1851 when lingering displeasure against Roman Catholic ethnic Chinese erupted into major rioting, leaving over 500 Chinese dead. The army was called in again, although it involved having to induct Indian convicts into military service almost overnight. In 1854, 12 consecutive days of violence sparked by a dispute between the Hokkiens and the Techos disrupted trade. This particular incident led to formation of military Singapore Rifle Corps on 8th of July 1854, the earliest predecessor of the Singapore Armed Forces People Defense Force today. However, criminal violence was not merely in the domain of the ethnic Chinese. Rivalries between Malay princes and communities also often result in acts of violence, which prompted the passing of Singapore's first armed law in March 1823, restricting the right to bear arms to 24 of the Malay Sultan's followers. Nearly 2 centuries later, this anti-arms law continued to be strictly enforced, resulting in a society relatively free from firearms-related criminal offenses. As of today, the murder rate in Singapore is reportedly low, and the police force of Singapore is one of the highly respected police all throughout the world and considered one of the most safest places. Official name: the Singapore Police Force, with the abbreviation of SPF, is the principal law enforcement agency within the Republic of Singapore. It was formerly known as the Republic of Singapore Police. The SPF is a uniform organization under the purview of the Ministry of the Home Affairs. The mission of the SPF is to prevent, deter, and detect crime to ensure the safety and security of Singapore. Its values are courage, loyalty, integrity, and fairness. This is now the structure organization of the Singapore Police. The head of all is the Commissioner of Police, followed by the Deputy Commissioner. Then there will be a Director for Special Duties and Chief of Staff. Staff Department will have Administration of Finance Department along with the Commercial Affairs Department, Criminal Investigation Department, Manpower Department, Operations Department, Planning and Organization Department, Police Custodial Department, Police Intelligence Department, Police Logistic Department, Police National Service Department, Police Technology Department, Public Affairs Department, Security Industry, Regulatory Department, Service Development, and Inspectorate Department. These are the staff department. While in line unit, there are Airport Police, Gorka Contingent, Police Coast Guard, Security Command, Special Operations Command, Traffic Police Department, Training Command, and Volunteer Special Constabulary. Along with it is the land units are the Ang Mo Kio Police Division, Badok Police Division, Central Police Division, Clementi Police Division, Jurong Police Division, and the Tanglin Police Division. Organization, recruitment, and training of police. In 1989, Singapore's police force had 7,000 constables and inspectors, 3,000 national service conscript, and 2,000 volunteers. The Commissioner of Police was responsible for law enforcement in all civil jurisdiction of the country. He was assisted by deputy commissioners for administration, civil defense, operation, and planning. Two auxiliary police organization employed an additional 2,300 persons trained to provide security for the Port of Singapore and private businesses. The Port of Singapore Police with 300 personnel in 1989 was delegated responsibility for maintaining law and order on the docks, checking cargo manifests, and inspecting vessels that are suspected of having contraband. The other auxiliary police force was the Commercial and Industrial Security Corporation, which was operated as public service under the control of Minister of Home Affairs. The corporation was established in 1972 to relieve regular police from routine security and escort duties for private businesses. The 2,000 security personnel employed by the corporation were delegated the same powers and immunities as police officers in the course of their duties. The Commercial and Industrial Security Corporation was the only civilian security organization whose personnel were authorized to carry firearms. Police personnel primarily were recruited from among high school graduates who were interested in law enforcement as a career. The professional force was augmented as necessary with national service conscript and volunteers. In 1989, women comprised 15% of the force and were employed in all occupational fields. The high number of students interested in belonging in the National Police Cadet Corps provided the police with a large pool of potential recruits. Police recruits were required to be high school graduate without a criminal record and to be in excellent physical conditions. Officers were selected for promotion to senior grades had to be approved by Public Service Commission. There were 10 senior grade levels, inspector, 4 grades for superintendent, and 5 grades of commissioners. Basic and advanced training for recruits and national service conscript was provided at the police academy. Selected officers were awarded scholarship to attend local universities and to take course in other countries. The 6-month basic course of recruits emphasized legal procedure, police station and field operation, use of weapon, dealing with public, and physical fitness. National service conscript were given a 3-month basic course but with less emphasis on legal procedure. Most division of the areas and detachment commands selected from within to fill vacant billets for corporal, sergeant, and higher level of position. Officers were encouraged to enroll in career development courses that were devoted to such subjects as crisis management, community relations, crime investigation, and interrogation technique. Exceptional junior officer received merit scholarship to National University of Singapore to study management and disciplines needed by the force. Senior officers were required to travel overseas for training to broaden their understanding of law enforcement practices in other countries. Some foreign school attended were the Police Staff College in Britain, the Federal Bureau of Investigation National Academy in the United States, and the Police Academy in Japan. Here now are the ranks of the Singapore Police Force. From the highest, which is the Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Senior Assistant Commissioner of Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Deputy Assistant Commissioner of Police, Superintendent, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Assistant Superintendent, Inspector, Station Inspector, Senior Staff Sergeant, Sergeant, Corporal, up to the lowest, which is best known police practices. Singapore is now considered as one of the safest places in the world. It is often being chosen as a host country in celebrating activities which involves high-profile personalities such as the leaders of different states. It is all accomplished because of a well-organized policing management and the individual discipline of every police personnel. Singapore police force are known for being top-notch police force across the globe because of their training and qualification as well as their discipline. Singapore is well known to have the cleanest environment due to individual discipline of citizens as well as their police personnel. They as well build strong partnership with the community to make Singapore a secure, safe, and at the same time citizen-friendly place. They are as well known in their continuous innovation and transformation to stay ahead of the evolving security environment.
Gutierrez Arnel from Team 33. History of Law Enforcement in Thailand. Royal Thai Police (RTP) first came into existence in the year 1455, over 500 years ago. Until now, 19th century, Royal Thai Army Force personnel, aside from their duty of national defense, also performed law enforcement duty alongside the dedicated civil servant. Responsibility for law and order, we divided into the sixth ministry, led by councillors of the state. In time of war, police units were under royal command as part of the army. Only during the regime of King Makun Rama IV and King Kulalongkorn Rama V did the nation see a huge reform, and the western nation of Thai law enforcement forced to adapt the changing situation and needs of the country. By 1902, the Royal Police Cadet Academy (RPCA) was founded to train future police officers. In 1915, the provincial and urban police force were united as one nation organization under the Ministry of Interior. Originally modeled on the pre-World War II National Police Force of Japan, the TNPD was reorganized several times to meet changing public order and internal security needs. American advised training and equipment, which were provided from 1951 through the early 1970s, did much to introduce new law enforcement concepts and practices and to aid the modernization of the TNPD. During this era, the strength and effectiveness of the police grown stably. All components of the police system were administered by the TNPD headquarters in Bangkok, which also provided technical support for law enforcement activities throughout the kingdom. The major operational units of the force were the Provincial Police, the Border Patrol Police, the BPP, and the Metropolitan Police, and small specialized units supervised by the Central Investigation Bureau. In mid-1987, the total strength of the TNPD, including administrative and supportive personnel, estimated at 110,000. Of the number, over one-half were assigned to the provincial police and some 40,000 to the BPP. More than 10,000 served in the Metropolitan Police. Quasi-military in character in the TNPD was headed by the Director General, who held the rank of the Police General. He was assigned by 3 Deputy Director General and 5 Assistant Director General, all of whom held by the rank of Police Lieutenant General through the TNPD system. All ranks exempt the lowest constable, corresponding to to those of the Army. The proliferation of high ranks in the TNPD organizational structure, as in the military, included the political impact of the police on national life. In 1998, TNPD was transferred from the Ministry of the Interior of Thailand to be directly under the office of the Prime Minister. It acquired a new name in English, the Royal Thai Police (RTP). The title of its commander was changed from Director General of the TNPD to Commissioner General of the Royal Police of the Royal Thai Police. Arnel Gutierrez. Information about the law enforcement in Thailand. The major police units of the Royal Thailand Police. First, the Provincial Police. Second is the Border Patrol Police. Third is Metropolitan Police. Fourth is units supervised by the Central Investigation Bureau. Department of Special Investigation. Thailand's counterpart to the US FBI, Department of the Ministry of Justice of Thailand. Operates independently of the Royal Thai Police, tasked with the investigation of certain special cases such as first, those affecting national security, second is organized criminal organization, third is potential implicating officials. Thailand National Police Department (TNPD). Police paramilitary since 1860, changed to Royal Thai Police, located in Patnom 1 District, Bangkok. Police agency under control of the Ministry of Interior, in charge in police function throughout the entire nation, headed by the Commissioner General, who's under direct commanded of the Prime Minister. Police General Samyot Pam Pan Mamaon. Border Patrol Police (BPP), responsible in border security and countering terrorism, serve as the executive protector of the royal family. Bangkok Metropolitan Police, the most visible and publicly recognizable of all Thai police components, responsible in providing policing services in the capital city of Bangkok and its suburbs. Under control of all commissioner, whose rank is police major, and assisted by the 6 deputy commissioners. Accounted for about 40 police precincts with the metropolitan area. Traffic Police Division serve as escort guards for the king and visiting dignitaries, riot control force. Traffic Police Division also have building guards, Canine Corps traffic control, specialized in law enforcement personnel trained to deal with juvenile. Central Investigation Bureau, CIB, located in Bangkok. National in jurisdiction, serve as the national coordinating headquarters which assists provincial and metropolitan components in preventing and suppressing criminal activities and minimizing threats to national securities. It has specialized units to the Bureau includes Railroad, Marine, Highway, and Forestry Police. Provincial Police, the largest of RTP, PNPD's operational components in both manpower and geographical responsibility. This division provided police service to the entire country, to towns and villages exempt to the metropolitan Bangkok and border areas. 191 Special Branch Police. Special Branch Police unit that acquire and develops intelligence usually of the political nature and conduct investigation to protect the state from perceived threats like terrorism and other extremist activities. Special Operation Unit Arin Darat 26 is a SWAT team of the Royal Thai Police. Tourist Police Aviation Division. They are responsible conducting aerial patrol, providing emergency assistance during calamities, and provided surveillance from traffic system. Arnel Gutierrez. Official name of law enforcement in Thailand. The Royal Thai Police, RTP, or Tamroat Haeng Chat, is the national police force of Thailand. The RTP employs between 2010 700 and 240,000 officers, roughly 17% of all civil servants, excluding the military and the employees of state-owned enterprises. The RTP is frequently recognized as the Fourth Armed Police of Thailand, since their tradition, concept, culture, skill, and training are relatively similar to the Army, and most of their officers, cadets, need to graduate from the Armed Force Academies, preparatory school, before entering the Police Academy. Officers also undergo pre-military training similar to the Army but with a additional focus on law enforcement. Arnel Gutierrez Ranking System. Commission Officers. Police General Patramroat Ik. Police Lieutenant General Panraptoat 2. Police Major General Panraptoat 3. Police Brigadier Panraptoat Hattawa. Police Colonel Panraptoat Ik. Visit. Police Colonel Panraptoat Ik. Police Lieutenant Colonel Panraptoat 2. Police Major Panraptoat 3. Police Captain Rayat Ramproat Ik. Police Lieutenant Rayat Ramroat 2. Second Lieutenant Rayat Ramroat 3. Non-commissioned officer Sergeant Major Dap Tamroat. Police Staff Sergeant Ha Sip Tamroat. Police Sergeant Sip Tamroat Ik. Police Corporal Sip Tamroat 2. Police Lance Corporal Sip Tamroat 3. Policemen Constable Pon Tamroat. Police officials are considered civil employees who rank as classified in accordance with personnel classification of Civil Service Commission. Commissioned police officer hold rank ranging from police general down to police sub-lieutenant, whereas non-commissioned police officer are ranging from police senior sergeant major down to police constable. The Director General of Police holds the rank of Police General. He is the supreme commander of the police force with power to direct, control, and supervise police activities throughout the Kingdom of Thailand. He exercises his authority over more to 200,000 police officers in various police bureaus and divisions. There are 12 Deputy Director Generals and 7 Assistant Director Generals under the Director General of the Police. They are selected from among the most senior of the police commissioners and are responsible for crime suppression, administration, special activities, as well as protecting of the royal family. At the bureau level, a police bureau is headed by the Commissioner of Police, who hold the rank of Police Lieutenant General. A Commissioner of Police who have senior police major generals working under him in the position of Deputy Commissioner. The number of Deputy Commissioner in a bureau will depend upon the workload and responsibility of the bureau. Each police bureau controls a number of police division. Each police division has commander at its head and would hold the rank of police major general. Under a commander, there are deputy commanders with the rank of police special colonel, and under them, superintendent with the rank of police colonel who are in charge of subdivisions. Under the superintendents, there are deputy superintendent selected from senior police lieutenant colonels. Arnel Gutierrez, recruitment, selection, and training. Qualification. First, physically fit and mentally fit. Second, at least high school graduate. Third, bachelor's degree recommended. Fourth, good eyesight. Fifth, fluent in Thai language, English language, especially from applicants of the tourist police. 6. Not been convicted of any crime, especially crimes involving drugs. 7. 16 to 21 years of age. Application. Step 1. Individually assign identification date to submit the application form to the recruitment staff, and each applicant will be given application IDs to carry throughout the recruitment process. Step 2. Basic knowledge test. Applicants are given 3 sets of tests. First, English knowledge test. Second, test of subject areas essentially in police work. Third, basic aptitude test. Third step is medical examination. The medical examination of the applicants is undertaken at the Police General Hospital. The preparation guideline is to abstain from food 12 hours prior to medical examination. Must be properly attired and bring along the applicant ID and wearing instruments. Fourth step, document submission. Original documents with 1 copy each. 4 colored 1-inch photos taken within 3 months prior to the application date. Identity card or government employee card. House registration certificate. Place and time to submit the complete application form. Fifth step, interview. The applicants will be interviewed by the selection committee. Must be properly attired and wear the applicant's ID and personal identity card. Step 6, aptitude test. Written test to access the basic skill required for police work. Teamwork, exercise, and to execute leadership when needed in a high-tech and changing environment. Individual examination, designed to measure the operation skills such as stress, tolerance, and more. Applicants who fail may reapply after 3 years. Step 7. Psychological test. Psychological group test held at RTP headquarters. The applicants are recommended to have their breakfast and be at the test room not later than 7:30. Bring their own identity cards and wearing military materials. Psychological individual interview. The interview will be arranged by the medical psychologist. Date and time of the interview will be assigned. Tests will be reviewed by the selection board before the applicant undergo their training. Training. Standard training. Counterterrorism training consisting of 24 weeks of training for a new police privates. Second, international counterterrorism training of 6 weeks of training for police who are not in active service, as well as 1 week of anti-terrorism planning. Third, explosive ordnance disposal or EOD. Training consists 12 weeks of training. Sniper, counter-sniper training consists of 4 weeks of training for those assigned to snipe position. Fifth, electrons, electronics proficiency training consists of 12 weeks of training for those assigned to duty of electronics profi- proficiency of officer of Thai police training. Pre-service training. The provincial school emphasizes a professional or vocational training program in police science or technology that stresses police knowledge and the techniques required to perform basic police tasks such as criminal law, criminal procedure, investigation, patrol, traffic control, report writing, ethics, self-defense, crime prevention, DNA. In-service training, non-commissioned officers. Specific. Police corporals and sergeant 12 weeks long and teaches investigative knowledge and capability designed by Police Provincial School. Generic deals with drug investigation, drug prevention, and suppression fundamental police tactics, crime prevention and suppression, administration, and personnel management, traffic control, logistics, training, and budget finance, designed by the Education and Planning Division of the Police Education Bureau. Commission officers. 16 weeks command course given to deputy police commander or top-level administrator to increase their administrative and material and order, organizational skill, and capabilities. 16 weeks superintendent course designed to provide mid-level management with knowledge and skills in apply managerial and technological models of their work. 10 weeks inspector course to enhance inspectors first level administrator knowledge in their work related areas. Administrator investigation, criminal law, and traffic control. Sent today at 5:55 p.m. 15 weeks general staff course that is also given to sub-inspector to learn about advanced administration and managerial skills. 16 weeks criminal investigation course that is instill sub-inspector with a core concept of investigation, criminal procedure, and its application. Specialized course, specially designed by the individual police units to respond to a particular situation, such anti-riot course by the Metropolitan Police Bureau, designed by the Institution of Police Administration Development, which is undergo the Police Education Bureau. Arnel Gutierrez, ranking system, commission officers, Police General, Patramro at Ik, Police Lieutenant General, Panrapto at 2, Police Major General, Panrapto at 3, Police Brigadier, Panrapto at Hatawa, Police Colonel, Panrapto at Ik, Visit, Police Colonel, Panrapto at Ik, Police Lieutenant Colonel, Panrapto at 2, Police Major, Panrapto at 3, Police Captain, Rayat Trampro at Ik, Police Lieutenant, Rayat Tramro at 2, Second Lieutenant, Rayat Tramro at 3, Non-Commissioned Officer, Sergeant Major, Dap Tamroat, Police Staff Sergeant, Ha Sip Tamroat, Police Sergeant, Sip Tamroat Ik, Police Corporal, Sip Tamroat 2, Police Lance Corporal, Sip Tamroat 3, Policemen Constable, Pon Tamroat. Police officials are considered civil employees who rank are classified in accordance with Personnel Classification of Civil Service Commission. Commissioned police officer hold rank ranging from police general down to police sub-lieutenant, whereas non-commissioned police officer are ranking from police senior sergeant major down to police constable. The Director General of Police holds the rank of police general. He is the supreme commander of the police force with power to direct, control, and supervise police activities throughout the Kingdom of Thailand. He exercises his authority over more than 200,000 police officers in various police bureaus and divisions. There are 12 Deputy Director Generals and 7 Assistant Director Generals under the Director General of the Police. They are selected from among the most senior of the police commissioners and are responsible for crime suppression administration, special activities, as well as protecting of the royal family. At the bureau level, a police bureau is headed by the Commissioner of Police, who hold the rank of Police Lieutenant General. A Commissioner of Police will have senior police major generals working under him in the position of Deputy Commissioner. The number of Deputy Commissioner in a bureau will depend upon the workload and responsibility of the Bureau. Each police bureau controls a number of police divisions. Each police division has commander at its head and would hold the rank of police major general. Under a commander, there are deputy commanders with the rank of police special colonel, and under them, superintendent with the rank of police colonel who are in charge of subdivisions. Under the superintendents, there are deputy superintendent selected from senior police lieutenant colonels. Anuel Gutierrez, best known police practices in Thailand. Primary roles and responsibility of Thai police were not only crime prevention and but also providing service to the people. There were different problems when people living together in different such as rural and urban areas. Some might violated each other's rights and freedom. From the past until now, Thai police were criticized either on the positive or negative duties based on the problem reviewing on people orient public service delivery. The police officer tried to resolve the negative criticized from the people. Royal Thai Police initiated the project Police Station for People. This indicates the Royal Thai Police realized the significance and emergency of people orient public service providing service mind. Either a researcher believe that the non-formal education activities will help the organization to create the service mind for the organization culture. The purpose of this study, we learn model to enhance the service mind of Thailand police officer. The design of this study was a qualitative study. The included documents were studies police service mind in different neighborhood. They study and describe the way the develop of learning model to enhance service mind of Thailand police officer. The short word that the element of learning model to enhance service mind in Thai police organization culture. Model to enhance service mind of Thailand police officer. The strategy presentation of learning model to enhance service mind for Thai police officer.
Good morning. I'm Ivan Diaz and my topic is about Vietnam's law enforcement. The law enforcement in Vietnam is called the Vietnam People's Public Security. History. This force was created on August 19, 1945. The August Revolution achieved success in Hanoi on August 19, 1945. The People's Public Security of Vietnam organization was founded on the very day when the people overturned the oppressing apertures of French colonialism and Japanese racism and established a revolutionary government of the people. On February 21, 1946, President Ho Chi Minh signed Decree Number 23 to unity the three forces Security Service Bureau, Scout Bureau, and National Self-Defense Force into Vietnam People's Police Department, with its main function of policing the society and maintaining social security and order under the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and appointed Mr. Lee Jian as the director of the PPS Department of Vietnam. On April 18, 1946, the Ministry of the Internal Affairs issued Decree Number 121 on the organizations of the Vietnam Police Department, stipulating the organizational structure of the police force at three levels, namely Vietnam Police, Regional Police, and Provincial Police. On 1946 to 1954, after its established, the Vietnam Public Security Forces immediately engaged in the life and death fight against foreigner enemy and domestic reactionaries. The Vietnam People's Public Security Forces, or BPPSF, launched attack on counter-revolutionary and reactionary organizations, controlled crime, and directly protect the newly established revolutionary governments in the three regions of Vietnam. The force continued to gain and more victory on the silent battlefield during the National Resistance War against the French colonialists. On 1954 to 1975, Vietnam was temporarily divided into two regions, North and South, with two strategic missions. The Vietnam People's Public Security actively fulfilled given tasks in various fields and made excellent feats of arms in both fightings the enemy in the southern battlefield and protection the socialist rear in the north. 1975 to present, April 30, 1975 marked the unification of the country, and security and police force in the country were also merged into the United Vietnam People's Public Security Forces. They have made full use of ethic, religious, democratic, and human rights issues in the Vietnam to provoke the public and break the great national unity bloc. Over the past more than 70 years of development, the BPPSF have been rewarded many Nobel Awards by the party and the state, including 16 Gold Star, Order 100 Ho Chi Minh, Order 268 Independence, Order 1072 title of Hero of the People Armed Forces, tens thousand of military exploit order, feat of arms order, and fatherland protection order to their numerous great victories and achievements. Information of Vietnam People's Public Security. The People's Public Security of Vietnam is the main police and security forces of Vietnam under control of the Ministry of Public Security. It is a part of the Vietnam People's Armed Forces and under the de facto control of Communist Party of Vietnam. Role of the People's Public Security Forces. The People's Public Security Forces plays a core role in protecting national security and ensuring social order and safety. In addition, the forces is responsible in the fighting crime and law violations related to national security and social order and safety. It is composed of two service branches, the Vietnam People's Security Forces and the Vietnam People's Police Force. Vietnam People's Security. Prevent, investigate, and defeat potential actions against enemy of the Vietnamese nation. Intelligence working. Joining forces in internal political security, economical security, ideology, cultural security, network security, and information security. Manage entrance or exit visas, border security, crossing and checkpoints, and immigration stations in air post. Defending the secrecy of the government of the Republic against internal and internal threats, helping to build persons' security in every kinds of life at every area in the country, performing other duties, missions, and responsibilities in keep with the law. Vietnam People's Police, including civil defense forces, working to prevent, investigate, and solve environmental, political, traffic, functional, and corruption-related criminal activities in keeping with the laws of the Socialist Republic, working with the general public on crime prevention and in participation in its action, perform responsibilities and duties pertaining to identification security, public security, transport security, road and highway safety, firefighting, civil defense, disaster preparedness and response. Execute other duties and mission in according with the Constitution and the laws of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. In Vietnamese language, this is official name of Vietnam People's Public Security. Next is structure and organization. Structure of the People's Public Security Forces. Hierarchical organization of the People's Police Security Forces includes Ministry of Public Security, Provincial Police Department, Police Station of District Provincial Capital, Police Post of Communities, Wards, and Townlets. Number 2. The government has decided to post full-time police officer to commune level police post. Number 3. To meet the requirements of the national security protection, maintenance, and social order and safety, the Ministry of Public Security is authorized to establish police station, post, and independent units in certain area. The organizational system of the People's Public Security Forces, Ministry of Public Security Departments of municipalities and provinces, Public Security Office of rural district, urban district, town and provincial cities, Public Security Post of communities, wards, and township. Recruitment and selection and training. Recruitment for all branches of the force must be in accordance with policy laid down by the commanding general for all levels with the authorized establishment. The rate of recruitment must also be regulated by training capacity, which in its turn should be designed to produce quality and never stretch to produce quantity only. Recruitment should be directed at obtaining the best possible material to meet police standard of education and physical as the situational and the prestige of the police force improve and the force becomes a more attractive career. Standards should be constantly viewed and raised. Recruiting officer should visit school and university to explain in the police to students as the career prospected, especially for direct entrance. Selection. According to Circular Selection, Rule of Citizens on People's Public Security, Article 3, Section 3, Priority Selection, in order to the public security of the people of the following cases. A. Citizens have the title of Professor, Associate Professor, PhD, Master Level Professional Training to suit the needs of selected specialist level 1, level 2. B. Graduation class citizens quite good, excellent. Main system at the levels of training, university college, good class graduation, excellent main system at the intermediate level of training, beginning with expertise consistent with recruitment needs. C. Citizens is the offspring of married tree. The wounded, the sick of people's public security troops. D. Citizens' commitment to volunteer work in the mountainous, the high, remote areas, border islands from 10 years. Citizen. E. Citizen is the offspring of public safety officer have continuous work time in the public safety sector for 15 years or more. G. Official and student who are minorities or other citizens had permanent time from 10 consecutive years. Article 4. Selection of Object Officer. Public Servant Officer. Graduated from the university, college, and vocational college, professional, vocational, secondary, vocational level in the ministry, the Vietnam People's Army officer. Training. The efficiency of training is reflected in the efficiency of the force and improving situation. Time has come to move toward a great emphasis on professional police training. The object should be train the individual to take individual responsibility with the sound knowledge of his professions. It should also be borne in the mind that basic police training is the first encounter a recruit has with his new profession and that it will leave a lasting impression on him. It is for the commanding general of the force to decide who is to be trained, how, when, and where. To enable him to do this, there should be a training service under the Director of Personnel and Training with the 4 Bureau to deal with basic, refresh, promotion, and specialized training. The last will coordinate CID, Marine, Police, Field Force, Transport, and Radio. For instruction, to be effective, the normal class should not be more than 30 students. There should be more practical demonstrations in which students can play a part. The content of the courses needed to be redesigned to give the student more knowledge of police work and law, at the expense of the existing high percentage of time devoted to the military aspect, weapon, tactics, taekwondo, and drill. Ranking system of Vietnam People's Security Force. High rank officer, Army Forces, General, only held by Minister of Public Security, Colonel General, usually held by Deputy Minister of Public Security, Lieutenant General, usually held by Director General of General Department, Director General of Hanoi Police Department, Director General of Ho Chi Minh City HCMC Police Department, Major General, usually by Vice Director General of General Department and Director of Department of Chief of Provincial Police, Middle Ranking Officer, Senior Colonel, usually held by Vice Director of Department and Chief of Provincial Police, Colonel, usually held by Chief of District Police and Chief of Division, Lieutenant Colonel, usually held by Chiefs of Wards Police and Chiefs of Police Team, Major, usually held by Vice Chief of Police Team, Low-ranking Officer, Captain, Senior Lieutenant, Lieutenant, Second Lieutenant, Non-commissioned Officer, Sergeant Major, Sergeant, Corporal, Enlisted Personnel, Private First Class, Senior Constable, Firefighter First Class, Private Second Class, Constable, Firefighter Second Class. Best known policy practices: domestic violence prevention and control. Recent legislations in Vietnam to address domestic violence, especially the adoption of the law on domestic violence prevention and control, sends a clear message that such violence is not to be tolerated and should no longer be seen as a private matter. In Vietnam, various government agencies and mass organizations have a role ensuring a comprehensive, coordinated, and multi-faceted response to domestic violence. The law enforcement, justice sectors are key players as they can be mobilized to be more effective in protecting the victims, ending immunity, providing access to justice, and responding to the special needs and vulnerabilities experienced by women victims. within the justice system.